Hi, I'm Jeff Black. Welcome to Fantasy Archipelago. Fantasy Archipelago is an 18-card legacy game designed for 2 to 4 players, plays in about 15 to 30 minutes, and it's best for ages 10 and up. Fantasy Archipelago is a group of wonderful little islands where your most amazing fantasies can come to life. For some, this will be a pleasure, while for others, it will be quite the opposite. Fantasy Archipelago uses a mix of area control, card drafting, and dexterity to create a fun game that plays pretty quick and is pretty easy to learn. So, let me tell you a little more about it. Okay, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the game. It's a dexterity game, so I was finding it very challenging to flick cards accurately to demonstrate things. So what I've done is I've given you a preset up game so that I can show you a little bit about how it works. The first thing you're going to do when you begin to play is you will have marked any 6 of your cards with a hub sticker. And what a hub sticker does is it adds value to each of the spaces shown on the card. And I'll get to that a little bit in more detail in a little bit. Once the hub cards are spread about, each player chooses a fantasy type. There are 4 different types of fantasies. There's the change in personality fantasy, which is red, change in social role fantasy, which is yellow, the change in time fantasy, which is green, and the change in place fantasy, which is blue. At that time, you'll also pick a supporting color, which mostly serves to break ties, and each color also comes with an opposing color, which is a color you're going to try to avoid during play as you put your cards with their colors on them onto the board. Now, taking a look at the board, the way it basically works is that for every space, let's say my color was green, for every space on any given island that shows my color, I score 1 point for any of the exposed spaces. I would also score a point for any stickers of my color on that island that are also exposed. So let me tell you a little bit more about some of the other things you can do with your cards. Alright, so basically the premise of Fantasy Archipelago is that you're going to use your cards to build an archipelago, a small group of islands on your table. An island in this game is defined as any group of cards that are touching one another, so this group of 4 is an island, this bigger group is an island, and so on. In the course of play, an individual card would not count. No individual cards don't score. They have to be touching at least one other card. The basic goal is that you're trying to get the most of your fantasy's color to be showing on any given island. It's a majority rule situation here, so only one color will score per island, so you're really trying to make sure that your color is that color. So on your turn, you've got a few different things that you can do. You can flick a card from your hand. Now, you're going to have a few cards in your hand depending on player count. The actual number of cards changes. But you can do a few different things. You can flick onto the table to try to add basically land to any of the islands on the archipelago. Of course, I'm placing the cards. During actual play, you would toss them onto the table. You can also choose to use your cards as a weapon. And to do that, you flick them onto the table in the same way, but you declare weapon ahead of time. And whatever island in the archipelago it touches when it lands, first you remove the weapon card, and then you can do one of a few things to any of the cards in that island. You can flip any of them over, so maybe I might choose to flip this one. You can rotate any card up to 180 degrees, either by rotating from the corner or from the center pivot point. You can move a card from one island to the others, or you can take one of the cards into your hand. You can't ever remove a hub card from the table, though. That's the one exception with that. So, depending on the fantasy you've chosen, you also have, each player has a unique special ability. No 2 players can be the same color during play, so no 2 players will ever share the same fantasy on that. Because this is a legacy game, it changes over time. When you buy the game, it won't come with any stickers on it, but there are 36 total stickers, 6 of which will be hub stickers, so your 6 hub cards are hub cards forever. And you also have stickers that you can add to any of the cards, including the hub cards, which would add basically a point of value to whatever color shows on the sticker. You score at the end of every round. So the game is played over 4 rounds, which loosely is interpreted as a 4-day weekend on this beautiful tropical island. So over the course of 4 rounds, you're going to score 4 times by adding up the number of exposed spaces of your color on each island. As I said before, the majority rules on that, so only one color per island scores. At the end of the game, the high score is the winner, and that's about it. As I said before, it plays pretty quick, and we've had fun with it. My co-designer is 11, and we've had a lot of fun with it. It's been a little tough to get it out in a social setting, as we might imagine, but we look forward to having you take a look at it. Thanks for having a look at our game. It's been a fun contest to be in.